Greetings, everyone, and welcome. December the 8th, 2025, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. in Kyiv, Ukraine. Just hours ago, Macron hitting back hard at Trump's plan using terminology that he will obviously understand. The repercussions of that will be very interesting. I have the video for you. In addition to that, it is becoming more clear and evident and obvious every day that the actual plan from Trump, that peace plan, is the capitulation of Ukraine. I also have a photo at the end of this update, should be in 8 or 9 minutes from now, that will show you everything you need to know from a soldier's perspective, with a direct message to President Donald Trump about Donbas. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting and subscribing. We're growing, getting the message out, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Now, this is the thumbnail that I'm going with. We have the cards, and of course, Putin here talking to Trump. I thought you said they would fold. But today's meeting, both Macron and Merz said two powerful statements, and I'm going to play them for you, and you can evaluate yourself. But we must start right here. Last night here in the United States, this crazy video that at an awards ceremony, we're going to be talking about all international affairs and what is going on. Makes no sense, but I had this image here for you. Disappointed in Zelensky. There you go. This is the switch again, even harder against Zelensky. And pay close attention to the video, because President Trump, and I'm not saying it was intentional, but had to catch himself. He said Zelensky, and then he corrected himself and said President Zelensky. But here, you listen to the video, because we have to start here before we go to Zelensky's response and also the words coming just hours ago from Macron and Merz. So here you go.
So we've been speaking to President Putin, and we've been speaking to Ukrainian leaders, including Zelensky, President Zelensky. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country, when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it, but I'm not sure that Zelensky is fine with it. His people love it.
Okay, I'm just going to call it the way it is. His people do not love it. That is being communicated to Donald Trump from a Witkoff. That's all that is. Putin, Witkoff, this narrative pushing hard. But this is what we've been looking for. Now you have an obvious flip. I'm disappointed in Zelensky. Remember, it was a couple of months ago, I'm disappointed in Putin. I thought our friendship would get this solved. Now I'm disappointed in Zelensky. He hasn't even read the document, and his people love it. Okay, that 30 seconds is completely from Mars. I'm sorry. You have no idea what he has read or not read, first of all. Secondly, Zelensky stated he was waiting to reconnect with Umarov for personal conversations about the negotiations happening in Miami. That's what's really happening. But President Trump went there. Here is Zelensky in his own words, quoting from today. The USA, Russia, and Ukraine have different approaches, and there is no unified position on Donbas. Negotiations have reached a deadlock due to the territorial issue. End of quote, Zelensky. That's it, guys. We're not giving up 30% of Donetsk region. Remember, I have a photo that's going to blow you away in just a moment. According to the president, the status of Donetsk and Lugansk regions has not been agreed upon in the negotiations, and Kyiv also insists on a separate agreement on security guarantees from Western allies, primarily the United States. There is one question that I and all Ukrainians want to get an answer to, and that is, if Russia starts the war again, what will our partners do? That is such a huge question that cannot be glossed over. You cannot trust Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation, full stop, end of statement. That's the way it is. Zelensky understands that. European partners understand that. Most of them. That's reality. United States, oblivious to it completely. So we now have this meeting in London. Who's there? Zelensky, Macron, Starmer, Merz. And ladies and gentlemen, this video I'm going to show you has two powerful statements in it, and it will be interesting to see the United States response, specifically Trump's response, and I will have it for you when it comes and if it comes, but I expect it to come. The Americans are putting pressure, demanding faster, faster, faster. Trump continues to put pressure on the victim and not the aggressor. Hear, hear. That's exactly what is happening. I'm disappointed in the victim is what we could go back and say. He said, I'm disappointed in Zelensky. He's not even reading the document. His people are for it. They love it. The pressure cannot continue to go on the victim. The pressure must be on the aggressor. These days could be decisive for all of us for Ukraine. We have many cards in our hands. That's what Macron says. And Merz said, I'm skeptical about some details in the documents coming from the United States. Those are the two statements that the Trump administration, specifically Donald Trump, is going to absolutely flip out on, because he's the one that started the card talk back in February. Now Macron's coming back. Hey, we've got cards. And that document is being questioned now openly and publicly by the German Chancellor Merz. Let's get to the video and then get ready for the photo.
I think we all support Ukraine, and we all support peace and peace negotiations to have a sustainable, a robust peace. And I think we have a lot of cards in our hands.
We have to pause there. We have a lot of cards in our hands. There's statement one.
The financing and the furniture of equipment and training programs to Ukraine, the fact that Ukraine is resisting in this
The fact that Ukraine is resisting.
war, and the fact that the Russian economy is starting to suffer, especially after our latest sanctions and the US sanctions. And now I think the main issue is a convergence between our common positions, Europeans and Ukrainians, and the US to finalize these peace negotiations and re-engage a new phase in the best possible conditions for Ukraine, for the Europeans, and for our collective security. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister here.
So we're going to go to Merz now. We've got to reevaluate this, get on the same page. Listen, it's all about the territorial cessation and security guarantees. And he makes mention of European security. This is what Merz is going to say.
Donald, for having us here in 10 Downing Street in London today. I highly appreciate that we are having the opportunity to see you, Volodymyr, together with Emmanuel, and talking about the upcoming days, because this could be a decisive time for all of us. So we are trying to continue our support for Ukraine, as you know. On the other hand, we are seeing these talks and negotiations in Moscow and in the US. I'm looking forward to hear from you what the outcome of these talks might be. And we are still and remain strongly behind Ukraine and giving support to your country, because we all know that this the destiny of this country is the destiny of Europe. So that's the reason why we are here, trying to figure out what we can do.
The destiny of this country, Ukraine, is the destiny of Europe, coming directly from the Chancellor of Germany.
And nobody should doubt on our support for Ukraine. And this is what we are firmly standing behind, and the outcome is open.
Now listen, here it goes.
I'm skeptical about some of the details which we are seeing in the documents coming from the US side, but we have to talk about that. That's why we are here. Thank you for your invitation.
That's where we're at. This meeting lasted about an hour and it ended, and we will see what further results come from it. But those two statements, we have cards. We also are skeptical about these documents coming from the USA, right on the heels of Trump last night saying the Ukrainians love it. Come on. There's the truth right there coming out of London today. Now, the photo I promised you guys, this says it all. I almost made this the thumbnail, but I couldn't resist with the cards there with Macron. Right here. There's a Ukrainian soldier. The United States insists we leave Donbas. Painted on the side of a building. Mr. Trump, I'm from Donbas. Why should I give my home in my region to Russia? Donbas. It's Ukraine. There is the strongest statement that I can share with you, and I'm going to ask you to share that with the rest of the world. Share it on your social media platforms. Share it to your family members that are anti-Ukraine or are misguided by the narratives, that do not understand the truth. There it is. It's our home. And you want us just to walk away from it? Not going to happen. And this is where Zelensky stands, Ukraine stands, Europeans understand it. But the United States, regardless, guys, Putin wants, if not all of Ukraine, he definitely wants Odessa, Mykolaiv, Kherson. We can talk about that at a different time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We appreciate each and every one of you. I'm looking forward to your comments, specifically about the cards, the statements from Merz, and also, what do you think of this picture right here? For me, that's a picture that speaks way more than 1,000 words. You guys be blessed. I'll keep up with everything for you. Have a good day.